The word photography was derived from the two Greek words photo and graphene. Photo means light, while graphene means draw. Photography was discovered by different people in the likes of Johann Heinrich Schulze, Wedgwood Thomas, Louis Daguerre, Nice Fornis, to mention a few.
Photography is life. Photography helps people, it takes people back to their memory. You know, it's like a database where you can go back and see the past and relate with it. It brings you closer to your loved ones.
Photography has come a long way in its relatively short history. In almost 200 years, the camera developed from a plain box that took blurry photos to the high-tech mini computers found in today's DSLRs and smartphones.
I feel photography is life because without photography, memories cannot be kept. You know, moment happens every day, things happen every day, and as a photographer, we keep those memories alive, we keep those moments alive. So aside book in the library, I believe pictures should be the next because we keep memories.
Like many other aspects of human endeavor, photography in the 21st century has witnessed mind-blowing innovation that has made it a pale shadow of the likes of Louis Daguerre, Nice Fornis, and their contemporaries.
Photography for me is an expression, it's a weapon. It's a tool, you know. Photography is a method, is an approach that you use to spread a certain type of idea or knowledge or something. Photography has been used in so many ways in the past for social change, for artistic expressions, for political, you know, stuff. I mean, in Nigeria, you even see where people take pictures of situations and they say different stories depending on how, you know, they want to say that story. So photography can unite people, it can divide people. People don't really understand how strong the medium is, but when you're not somewhere and a photograph comes back to you to tell you about what has gone on in that place, then it's more of the opinion of the person taking that picture. So photography is one of the most important, you know, discoveries of man, because it's not even an invention, it's a discovery. So it's one of the most amazing things that has been discovered in this world. So for me personally, I've basically been able to use photography as a way to express myself mostly, and well, I'm saying more on the commercial side as well, to, you know, help people freeze their memories, help people to do stuff with, you know, using photography as a platform.
Photography, which was initially invented to capture physical reality as we know it in motionless form, has gradually evolved to engender the possibility of embellishing that reality to the level that has caused many to doubt the verisimilitude of most modern-day photographs.
Photography is an art, so to say, that it has been in existence over time, and still existence. I know it's to continue being existence, and people had make use of this craft to express themselves to people. Thereby, I would say it's a means of communication to people, whether you are there at the scene or not. It's a means to pass a message across.
Photography allows historical events to seem more real rather than merely stories. Photography has become essential to historical documentation. It provides a glimpse into sections of society that were not explored.
Photography to me is freedom. The freedom to express yourself, freedom to travel, freedom to meet people, freedom to educate people through your works. Because as a photographer, you get to tell stories a lot, stories of places, stories of people, in your own way. So, and people, when people engage you as a photographer, they put 100% of the responsibility on you to tell the story. So, and the freedom is also, they give you the freedom to tell their story the way you want to tell it. So this freedom, the freedom that photography gives, is very important to me. So I see photography as freedom.
The evolution of photography has made people see it as a flexible art. Gone are the days photographs goes through different stages before its production, but now with the help of the new media, photography is seen much easier.
Change is a constant thing in life, and photography is not left out. From the technology, it's really moving very fast, and so every photographer out there needs to be on top of their toes, catching up with the trend of the new equipment, the new softwares, the new techniques, and even people want to feel something new about what you're offering them. So change, I believe, is constant. So you can't remain in the past and believe that people would want to patronize you. You have to move with the trend and what is happening around.
We are in an era where photography has moved from advancement in technology, which allows photographers manipulate those images to fit their artistic expression. Photographers are able to drastically change the outcome of an image through choosing various cameras, lenses, films, and the framing and timing of the shot.
Photography, compared to when photography was still for the old, when it wasn't this lucrative, and compare it with the way photography is now. Photography is more saturated now. There are a lot of people doing photography. Even someone can just wake up and buy a camera and say, oh, I've started photography. But there's one thing that separates a good photographer from just a photographer, and that comes to your creativity. It comes to you having your own signature, let me use that word, for you having your own style of photography. And that's the only way you can survive the competitive market the way it is now. And that's when it comes to your innovation. You need to be innovated, to constantly be innovated, to stay alive in photography. But generally, photography is a good business. And you know, it's just unfortunate that a lot of photographers out there, they are into photography because they feel it's lucrative, and they are not into photography because they feel it's a thing of passion.
These days, our relationship with photography has become so intimate because we see more moments through the camera, and we spend even more time looking at our phones, watching the lives of others. Now, studies have shown that most people now spend a whole lot of fortune just to get this art done because of the glamorous style it brings.
I don't know, well, value is what you should look at, how you value what you're offering and what you're giving people. For me, what I offer is a lot. Some people just see it as, is it not to take picture? But it's not all about that. From the point where customer calls to make inquiry, I start thinking, work starts from that point. We start planning. Okay, first I want to know who this person is that wants to do a photo shoot. What do you want to do this? For what reason do you want to take this picture? Is it your birthday? Is it that you just want to look at yourself and appreciate yourself? Is it, you know, I need to understand what the client wants. So from there, once I know what the client wants, I now start planning. Okay, what outfits do you want to wear? What type of makeup, hair that will go with the outfit, the makeup that will go with the outfit. A lot goes under the whole end of, the picture that you see. So from there, apart from even what the client would wear, what the makeup and hair or the style of clothes, we now have to relate it to, okay, what color of background, what theme are we trying to say? What we need to interpret what the client initially wants from the first time the person made a call. So it's not just taking pictures. It's not just it's what if you just want to take pictures, you can obviously just use your phone and do a selfie and that's it. But when you're coming to a professional photographer, you know that you're paying money for what you're getting. So it's value for what you're getting and you don't expect to get less. So a lot is being put into it. The set, the colors, the lighting, the camera, the lenses that we're going to use to catch a particular type of image that we want to create. So all that is running in our head. And at the point of shoot, we're there thinking how we make you comfortable to get the best of you, how to sit, the best pose, the best position, the best side, your best side. You know, some people don't even know. You hear some people say, I'm not photogenic. No, once you discover your best side, everybody has a beautiful side. So we look for that in you and try to bring out and create that amazing image that when people see, even you yourself will be like, wow, is this me? So, I mean, after putting all that, then we finish that, we now start selecting the best, because during this session, you're either closing your eyes or you moved your hand or you didn't sit well. So all that, we now have to sit down, look through 1,000 of pictures, select the best few with you, the client, and then we now start editing, processing it, and then bring it out to the finished product. So it could look like we're spending only just 3 hours, but we spend so many hours on just one look that we produce for a client. So that alone, if you quantify it with value of money, you know that we're not even charging you so much. You're supposed to pay even much more for what we are doing because it's a skill.
But perhaps this new era of photography has made people to be overwhelmed with so much nostalgia that the photographers has lost much its ability to affect the pictures taken in the past.
Well, they have to spend. And the reason why I say they have to spend is photography is not just a beans. It's not just an easy work. Right from creating, freezing the moment, being creative with the way you take the pictures, to your editing, to your post-production. It's a lot of work, and they need to pay more, because the value we are giving is not even the value for the present, it's the value for the future. So imagine you having your wedding and a photographer captures that memories. Your children will still see the image and they will feel like, oh, this is your wedding. So it's very, very essential, very, very important for looking at the value we give as a photographer for clients to pay for it, because it's a huge value. Not even to talk of, the creative aspect now, or the stress in doing the production and editing, even looking at our equipment. I'm sure the cameraman behind the camera, you understand how expensive our equipment is. So it's a lot of, it's a lot of work, and I think it's something that needs to be paid for. Real money, not just, in fact, we need to be charging in dollars.
Photos are made into stories. The makers, we type on them, draw on them, apply filters. However, we are increasingly seeing the world not just as something to freeze and capture, but as something to talk with.
For photography, technology has been at the core, of photography. When photography first started, so to speak, right, in those days, they would build a house, make a very small hole in it, and whatever is happening outside goes through that small hole and is reflected on the wall on the other side, and then the painters try to paint it. That's the most analog form of photography. Technology started with mixing of chemicals on plates, to kind of develop a film. Over time, they've been able to digitize the art. So technology has been at the very core of photography. When we talk about the Leicas, the Kodaks, and all those brands that started to do a lot of research into photography, they spent a lot of money, developing that artwork. People like Canon, Nikon are the ones who've made photography available for, I would say, we the masses, because that's making it very cheaper. Photography has always been expensive. So, then you would have to go to the camera because the camera was the building. But now the camera can come to you because it's right small, in your hand right there. So technology is what defines photography to a very large extent. If you move amongst photographers, we have sometimes limitations depending on the machine or the tool we are using. But I see a future where some of the things we worry about, we'll definitely not be thinking about them because technology would have evolved to a level where we'll be able to access some of these things. Especially when you even look at virtual reality, and stuff like that. Virtual reality definitely would develop to a point where you may be in a virtual world and you will not be able to see the difference between the real world and the virtual world. So I think technology is one of the most important factors that would help develop the artwork, develop the photography itself.
Technology has changed the role of photography in society in many ways. Technology has advanced so much that photographs can be captured anywhere and anytime.
Technology in photography cannot be separated from the art. I know from the advent of photography, it started with the chemical use of filming down to the digital use. It's this technology that made this transformation possible. And in the nearest future, I know that a lot of digital ways would also evolve, and technology cannot be left out in it.
Photography has impacted society in various ways throughout its long lifespan. Its use in both personal and professional settings allows individuals to capture moments of beauty and wonder which they can then share with the world.
Technology has influenced photography, and I also think technology will always influence photography, because I feel technology has made photography more accessible to us. If you are a startup photographer today and with a minimum budget, there are budget gadgets for you to start with. So, and this is because technology has been able to simplify everything that we use, and it has made it very affordable and accessible. So I think technology will always influence photography, even though there are both advantages and disadvantages to what technology has done to photography. Even though it has made it more accessible for us as photographers, it has also given some other people the opportunity to come into photography, even though they do not really have core interest in photography to become professionals, and which has made the industry a little bit challenging. So, but as it is, technology will always influence photography. It makes us advance, and it makes the job more easier for us.
In conclusion, photography is used as a medium of expression in a way to enable individuals to capture important moments in their lives and revisit them time and time again.